Amen.
All right, guys, Brian here. Welcome to the brand new OTMC Podcast. If you don't know what OTMC stands for, that is Official Texas Music Chart, a brand new chart out there and your new number one source for Texas country music. If you haven't been to officialtexasmusicchart.com yet, you need to. There's two charts on there. You got the OTMC chart, digitally monitored chart, covers mostly Texas music, a little bit of Americana, but it also includes all that alt country good stuff. And then we got what I now am fairly certain is the largest chart in the country. The mega chart, 258 stations, including all brands, flavors, everything of Texas music. So make sure you check. That comes out on Thursdays and Fridays. So in studio today, and it's been a crazy week, back. But in studio today, we got Chace Rains. Chace, how the heck you doing, man?
I'm well. I didn't know that was new information to me about the 258 stations. That's cool. Yeah. Y'all are a quickly growing chart, huh?
It is, yeah. And a lot of people don't know. Billboard is the gold standard,
that's right? The industry standard.
That's the gold standard. That is kind of interesting when you actually delve into the details of what they got going on. I'm not bashing Billboard. They do a great job of what they do.
They're important.
But for country,
yeah.
They monitor only Nielsen-rated stations. Mm-hmm. And to give you an idea on country stations in Texas that are Nielsen-rated,
maybe 5.
There's one in DFW.
Yeah.
There's 2 in Houston.
3. Only 3?
There's only 100 stations on the Billboard country.
I figured it was pretty low. Yeah. So you got already...
But it's major markets across the country.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what I'm focused on is small market, rural stations.
Which is where people are still arguably listening to more of the local music anyway.
It's what's important for the community, too. Those stations are not, and it's kind of controversial when I say this, but they don't make money off of music.
Right.
Music is there to grab people's attention, but they're basically an advertising company for those communities.
That happens to play music in between ads. Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's also how they survive, and it's a very integral, needed service on that rural network and in those communities,
Absolutely. And you drove 3 hours to get here.
Yeah, I'm from an extremely rural community in Red River County, but the poorest county in Abbott's great land of Texas. So far, we we had to pump sunshine in there,
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, so you're out east. You're in eastern Texas, and I talk about this a lot. Texas country music has different flavors.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what region you go to, and what I find, and you tell me because you live there. You're the first person I've actually had that lives there.
Yeah.
But I find that like the Piney Woods, eastern Texas, they tend to blend country music more with like a southern rock.
Yeah, or with classic rock. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that's their brand of country. To them, that 100% is country music.
And I think a lot of that is because the vast majority of us in that area, some of our biggest radio stations growing up were classic rock stations. A lot of us. Especially people my age in their late 30s, we grew up with classic Southern rock, especially on Saturday night request shows that were regional, that were coming out of Shreveport and out of Paris and out of Tyler, that were primarily 80s and 90s. 70s and 80s at that time.
Sure.
60s and 70s and 80s, I guess, really, not to really date myself, but that's what we cut our teeth on.
Absolutely.
And then you get slapped in the face with the music in the middle of that, and the derivative of all of that is Coetzel.
That's a good analogy. I mean, I think you can draw a direct lineage between many of the great Southern rocks. I would even say like the Led Zeppelin to Whiskey Myers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
At Coetzel, I could see.
Molly
a little kickoff there, going from like Led Zeppelin to Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. Molly Hatchet, Hawthorne Heights, Coetzel. It's like a Digimon progression.
I love it. Well, I actually first came across you, and I think TikTok is a great platform for this because I first found your music on TikTok when I first started Texas Country Day Radio.
Yeah.
I'm one of those weird radio stations that I go out and I actively ask artists for music. I don't wait on promoters to Send me stuff. I go out and if I see something that's interesting and it has good quality to spin, I'll spin it. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
And I think that's important because I think good music needs to find a way, some way, somehow.
For sure. Yeah.
And so I first found you with, like you sent me a couple songs 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, or about a year. Right. It was right after I got them back. Yeah. I didn't have a promoter or anything. Then I just had got the tracks back and was just sending them. So I was so excited.
There's one song, and I just pulled it off because you got your new EP out. But it's funny because that song is actually on your EP. I think you remastered it or had it redone or something. But it's House Ghost.
Yeah.
Man, that song is powerful.
I appreciate it. I'm proud of all the work on that. But that was, I think that song is my crossover hit. I think it has more appeal. It's not just a regular. Not that any of them really are very that country, I guess. But that song is the least country song that I have, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like that's my crossover hit. That's my Creed song.
Well, let's talk about your new EP real quick. So it's a 4-song EP. You just dropped it a month ago?
Like a month and a couple of days on February 16th. So like 33 days ago. Yeah.
Okay. And it's called Madison Framework, right?
Yep.
What's your lead single off that is
the title track, Madison Framework. And so that was a promotional choice. When I did get a promoter, I ended up choosing Cynthia Garcia, G289 Productions out of San Antonio. She kind of pitched this idea, especially since I've never released anything before at all. I've been working in my region, staying in my lane as far as performance goes. But I've crowdfunded and I had this album. I'm trying this brand new thing. Since nobody knows who I am outside of that, she pitched an idea of a roadmap where we start with Madison Framework as an acoustic offering here while it's sad and everybody's coming out of depression. We'll hit them with a steel guitar song with very overt suicide tones. I figured that was great. It would synergize real well with everybody coming in the spring.
Sure.
And then we're going to kind of build. I really, I really try hard not to be cliche, but the frat boy in me just won't get away from the synergy of releasing House Ghost in October, of pushing it to radio in October. So we're going to kind of build up to that. Where I'm going to do Wasted in the summer. It feels more of a summery anthem. And then I'm going to kick House Ghost in the face like in November or so and see.
I think it's a great idea. Cynthia does some great work, and I have found there is a million ways to hit the finish line, if you want to call it that.
For real.
Everybody's journey is different. And the more I talk to artists, the more I talk to promoters, the more I realize that they're all just going off their experiences. You know what I mean? As
everybody's just drowning slowly at different rates.
All throwing mud on the wall and looking to see what'll stick. And I think
trying to
it's funny out of it. I think Nashville does the same thing. They just have more money to throw more mud.
Exactly. Well, and that's why you see so many so much replication of songs, because when they do accidentally find something that halfway sticks, we're like, oh, that's the way. Yeah. And they try to, white people, they rape to death.
But I think there's something to be said, and I think you could see it in the Oliver Anthony's of the world and the Tyler Childers and heck, even Zach Bryan to some extent. That's a shooting star 1 in a million chance for something like that to happen to somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
or it's an industry plant. But
him and Oliver Anthony both just like overnight successes.
Yeah.
And Zach was doing a whole lot of stuff before that when he was in the Navy. But what I was getting at was just like there seems to be a big push from the consumer side for authentic, real, kind of relatable country music.
And yes, I agree. We're moving away from the patriotic, overproduced stuff that they've loved for so long. People are getting real burnout on that. It seems like you're right. There's a almost a grassroots feeling movement back towards something that has some more kind of raw feeling to it.
I hear a lot of artists, at least the ones that are coming here in the last week. There's a lot more that are moving towards the dance hall style of music. They're actually thinking about building and writing dance music specifically for people to dance to, which is something artists haven't done a whole lot of. They've been a lot of storytelling, a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
I think we kind of get away from our emo country phase is what I'm calling it.
That's what it has been.
It's been
Call a spade a spade. That's what it's been. Yeah.
And it's not just in Texas. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's in Americana. It's in bluegrass. It's everywhere. So I got to laugh before the podcast started. You said you don't really like talking about yourself, but I saw a TikTok the other day where you were looking at your album cover.
That
doesn't seem like somebody that doesn't like talking about it.
I'm trying new things, man. I'm trying. I figured I had a green screen. My drummer's always on me to be, funnier and crap. I have really severe ADHD and
It's only club, man.
I don't always do the I'm great at performance, but I'm not always great at jacking with an entire crowd or looking at myself on camera. So we're trying new things. Everybody's got to get better.
I had Kendi Jean in here the other day, and she said something that blew me away. She had severe stage fright.
Yeah.
To the point where she was canceling festivals that she was booked at because she couldn't bring herself to get on stage. She has a special needs daughter that sang on one of her tracks, right?
Yeah.
She said what actually gave her the courage to get out there and perform was standing behind her daughter that wanted to perform.
In her song, yeah.
And helping her daughter along the way. I said, there's something out there to help you kind of just...
For sure.
And you're not awkward at all with camera. No, you're not. I'll just give you a hard time, but no,
give me time.
And that kind of goes back to what I talk about a lot. To be a musician in today's age, you tell me if I'm wrong, it's a lot for an artist. You got to be a lot of things.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you have to be good at graphic design. You have to be good at general social media, not just social media. You have to be good at SEO. And you have to learn what SEO means, which I'm still mad about. I thought I graduated high school and I wasn't in BCAS anymore. You have to be on, there's 6 different, if you count Snapchat, you have Facebook, Instagram, which still kind of mad. That's 2 different, didn't know that was 2 different things. I won't even bitch about that here. You got TikTok, you've got to be on Banditown. I've had several promoters be like, well, if your Banditown ain't up to date, how am I gonna do?
Then you got D's, you got all these DSPs, and you got to worry about being a distributor. You got a self promoter.
EMI,
you got
through TuneCore,
media manager,
Spotify for artists.
It's just crazy, the amount of stuff. And what a lot of people don't realize is that's the commitment you signed up for when you want to make a go of this as an artist.
Well, especially when you decide that you're going to put a song on the radio and you want it to be successful, right? So, I think that's something that a lot of artists need to and so it's a decision that I had to make, and that's why I'm 38 and just now doing this is because for a long time, success can also be defined by being busy performing. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I think, lose sight of that. You get just as much fulfillment booking your region out with gigs and staying busy and being a regional artist. Ultimately, you make more money doing that because all I've done is spend money.
It's true. But you do it. If I'm not wrong, you go the radio route. You spend the money at the hope that there is something at the end of the rainbow that's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Outside of the region of Texas.
Well, yeah, or not not even necessarily outside the region of Texas. I'm just kind of burned out on playing 3-hour beer bars every weekend, and I want something more from, if you want something more, you've got to reach out and take it, and that takes a lot of different forms too, you know what I mean? Both the reaching out and the taking. And it's never what you think it's going to be.
I'm going to talk about something I've never talked about on a podcast. I've talked about with every artist I have ever talked with, and I've never talked about it on a podcast. Have you ever heard the theory of 1,000?
No.
Okay, so the theory of 1,000, and it's probably got a bunch of different names from somebody might know by somebody else, but as a artist or a public person, the first thing you got to do is you got to find your 1,000 people.
Right. Okay.
And these 1,000 people, this is your village.
Okay.
And this is where it gets hard for artists. Once you find your 1,000 people, you have to use your 1,000 people. Ask them to buy merch.
Right.
Ask them to send you money for your gear.
Yeah.
Ask them for things. When you find your first 1,000, you look for your next 1,000.
That's right.
These are your diehard fans. These are the people that are engaging all your content on your page. These are the people that are showing up to your shows. These are the people that you spend time with after the show, hanging out with, shoot the shit. These are the people that are spending their money because they believe in supporting you.
That's your core
group. And that's, if you look at people that have had really good success in this industry that aren't part of the Nashville machine, look at Creed Fisher, look at Aaron Lewis,
Cody Johnson,
look at Cody Johnson. They've got diehard fans.
Watson,
Diehard fans that show up to every show. They buy the merch. They buy the $600 guitar that has Aaron Watson's screen printed picture on it.
Right.
Because they believe in what Aaron Watson's doing, and Aaron Watson gives back to them in various ways, whether it's through
philanthropy,
whether it's through, give away a private show to anybody that engages with this post or something like that. What I mean? There's different ways he gives back to the fans, but it's about finding that core group of 1,000 people, then the next 1,000. Hopefully you get it up to 10,000.
Right.
But that's how, I think that's a good way. It's not the only way. It's a way to find music investors, which are important for the growth of a musician.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about that.
No. Because it's, nobody else talking about that, man.
Music investor is just this. It's generally somebody that you would never expect.
Right.
It's not a banker.
I have learned that.
It's not a loan officer.
No.
It's literally somebody that's probably a blue collar worker
who
believes in what you're doing, saying and singing, and just wants to be part of it.
I learned a big lesson on that when I crowdfunded that EP. With Edgewater, and that was probably both the worst and the best thing I've ever done in my life. Because I literally, like I say, that 1,000 people. At the time, I had about 900 people on that liked my page at that time. I had to go through and find all my friends and ask them, "Hey, are you my buddy? Would you put a physical dollar amount on how many buddies we are? How much are you my buddy? Are you $25 my buddy? Are you will you be $5 my buddy?
Sure.
Once, it was terrible, but you're right. In the people that came out of the woodwork and said they were $1,000 my buddy were the people that I would have
never expected,
never thought, didn't even actually ask any of my biggest donors directly. They all just saw the post and moved on their own. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which humbled me.
Yeah.
And that's another big reason of why I'm doing the push and spending the money now is because after asking for all that, I have this. Don't want to let anybody, I feel very...
Yeah, you desire to succeed.
They don't want to lift you. You don't let them down, yeah. Feel responsible.
And I don't think anybody looks at it like you're going to let them down. Nobody invested in that Edgewater music group thing for you.
Right.
Expecting to get a return on that investment.
I mean, for sure, yeah, amen. Hey, they probably did. I will get your t-shirt to you.
Investment is more... I could be wrong. There might be that one person out there that's like, "Here, get my $1,000."
Oh no, that's not how it.
I'm gonna put you down now.
That's not how any of it was worded. So don't come for me.
but no, I think most people just their return is to see you succeed.
Amen. Yeah.
To see you out there expanding what you've already done, even if it's like I hate to put a number on it, even if it's like a 10 or 20% growth over what you were doing.
That's what I want. Yeah,
that's growth.
That's what we're looking for. Yeah,
the needle. You know what I mean?
So I'm looking at some ticketed venues and be able to break the FW, be able to break an Austin.
About that. As you're coming out of the East Texas, what are some? Because everybody has a bucket list,
right?
What's your bucket list venues?
Yo, are we talking 5 years? Talking lifetime? I think that I have some achievable goals in the next 5 years that I've wanted to do for 10.
What do you think?
And the next
5 years.
In the next 5,
and I'm not going to quote you on this.
No, it's okay. You can. What? No, I'm going to be going back to look at this. In the next 5, I want to play at Floribama as a headliner. In the next 5 years, I want to play on Broadway in Nashville as a full band. I want to play either Gillies or Billy Bob's as a headliner. And I would like to culminate it. I would like to play Red Rocks in the next 5 years. I think I can do it.
Okay.
I think I can do it.
You got to specify Gillies. There's kind of 2.
There are kind of 2, huh? Whichever is more relevant. At the time that I'm watching this.
Are you good? You good with Gillies adjacent? Maybe Rebus plays?
I'm down with Rebus plays. Yeah. I'll take on Flat Jaws Kitchen. I don't care.
So that, I think that has, and coming from somebody that has done some booking, I think that has less to do with your talent
Mm-hmm.
and more to do with the connections of people.
100% it does. Yes.
And your Spotify numbers.
Yeah. Which, with I feel like I've done better than a lot of my peers without paying any money for promotion at all. So I'm confident about it. That's why I say 5 years. My first release. Let's give it a little bit of time.
Well,
But I'm more relevant than I was a year ago.
that's the other kind of aspect of things that I don't think enough people talk about, because it's not cheap to record and produce music.
Mhm.
It's not
At all.
on average. And a lot of people may not know this, but it's about $2,000 a single.
That's for cheap. Yeah, that's cheap.
that's
That's a good price.
Yeah, and you're probably looking at anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 for an album.
Yeah. If you do, an album at Edgewater, if it's 10, it's going to be more like 35.
Yeah. So I'm just saying,
True. Yeah.
you can get it done.
15 is going to get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of money,
It's a lot.
and there's no guarantee that put that money in that it's going to do anything.
That you're going to get a single penny out of it. No.
And that's tough.
You got to love it.
I'm not saying this to be controversial. Not every song written needs to be recorded.
Amen.
Not every song recorded is going to be success.
No, for sure. Yeah, and the another adverse to that is not every one that you think is going to be great is good. You're not always the best indicator of what the hell's going on. Like on my EP, for instance, I haven't told a single person about that song, Same Old Prick, because I'm not. The component on it is not my favorite. That's not my favorite presentation of that song.
Sure.
I kind of made them do that song for me, and I think I can tell it. That's just because I was involved in the process. I'm learning.
Sure.
Because that song it's my second most popular song behind Lattice and Framework, which is on actual radio.
Yeah.
So you don't know. Nobody knows. Back to your original point.
But it also comes
Nobody
down
knows.
to, I've also found, generally speaking, in Texas music, and I'm just talking about Texas music.
Amen. Okay.
If a song is performing well on radio, it's generally not going to perform as well on Spotify.
Isn't that weird?
And if it's performing poorly on radio, it generally performs pretty well on Spotify. It's like two separate audiences.
Right, and it really is, yeah. And some of that, I think, is because of you touched on it earlier when you said you don't wait for promoters and you use songs. You know what I mean? Some of that is because the way that radio is still set up is 20 years behind anything else. They promote, if you don't go through a promoter, nobody on the radio side's going to hear your song. That's unfair, and a lot of promoters do a great job,
Yep.
but it is kind of a tougher system to game when you set up like that. You know what I mean?
It comes down, and I can explain why that works. A lot of people have no idea why that works.
Right. And yeah, a lot of young guys.
The reason it works that way is because let's take 95.9 The Ranch,
Mhm.
and these aren't exact numbers. This is an estimation.
Yeah.
I think they have to cater to their investors and their ownership team and their ad team.
That's right.
Say they have to play X amount of ads in an hour, right? And an average song is about 3 minutes, right?
Mhm.
I would say on average, you're probably going to get about 30 to 40 minutes of music
Mhm.
and an hour,
And
which
that's
means you're going to
good.
get 10 to 12, 10 to 15 songs in an hour.
Mhm.
And if it's in a medium rotation, you're talking that song's going to get like a medium, not a heavy rotation. Cody Jinks heavy rotation is like 30 songs in a week.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Per station, 30 to 40 spins in a week.
Mhm.
That's heavy.
That's heavy.
Heavy.
But imagine how hard they're having
artist.
Yeah,
You're going to get 4,
maybe.
maybe 5 spins a week.
And that's heavy for a non-national artist on a station like that. Yeah.
On the flip side, now we look at like a 96.3 KSCS out of Dallas. Now they're going to be playing even less songs an hour because they have more ads they have to fill
To
their
make
national.
up.
Yeah. So they're only playing mainstream country, right?
Mhm.
They're only going to play about 7 to 10 songs an hour, and that hour is probably going to repeat 4 or 5 times a day.
Mhm. That
exact hour is going to repeat 4 to 5 times a day.
Yeah.
They're only playing 30 songs
In 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, same
When you break it down.
on every station.
Yeah.
In 24 hours.
Yeah. And then conversely, imagine how many independent song requests they get sent to them from guys. You know what I mean?
So I get
Imagine Shane Hollinger's inbox.
in my inbox, and I have an internet radio
I
station.
imagine your inbox. Yeah.
I have an internet radio station. I get about 600 songs a month sent to me. There's no possible way I can listen to 600 songs.
And that's just in your email. That's not counting like me sending you stuff on TikTok
Exactly.
or other platforms where you're accessible.
It comes down to I play the people that I've reached out to.
Mm-hmm.
I do my best to listen to everything that gets sent me, but I can usually tell within the first 20 seconds.
Right.
And unfortunately, my station it's nationally monitored at this point. It's on my chart, but it's also on a national chart. You know what I mean? And so I have to be really particular about what I spin on my station production wise. And so if it sounds like you recorded it in a bathtub,
It's an automatic no for me.
It doesn't matter how good the song is, how good your vocals is, the production level is.
Right.
And it's not.
And that's also a reality.
It's not fair to somebody that spent the money like you spent and had to do that asking.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
there's both sides of it.
To you, who did the hard work to get the production level,
Right. It's
put you on the same level.
It's also not fair to represent that artist with a bad recording.
Well, yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, the guys that bring that bathtub record, I've been that guy that had the bathtub recording.
Yep.
Was doing great live. Did have a lot of other weapons, but now that I've spent, I'm glad that I didn't ever represent myself with something like that. You know what I mean? Because it's not fair to yourself either. I know guys get so proud of stuff, and I know that feeling, I've finally got something. You need to check yourself. You know, it's tough.
Well, I want to kind of bring you back around. We kind of went on a little, which was good. It was good. Tell me about because you got a band.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Tell me about the guys in your band. Where did you get this? I know you said Edgewater Music Group, but tell me about the production of the EP and that sort of stuff.
Okay. Well, let's see. I'll start with the production of the first. That was really kind of a whirlwind for me. Edgewater, since I didn't have a full band, the EP came first, the band came second. So after I raised all that money up and down there, I was there for 4 days. I taught them my songs. They learned within, like that. I actually don't play a single lick the entire EP. Like, I don't play with a pick. I do practice with a metronome, but I don't play to a click track like a studio needs. And I'm not, that was my first real experience in a real studio.
Sure.
So, and especially the kind of money that I had raised and was spending on the song, I was like, you're doing all this. That way, if it's terrible in 3 months, I could hold you personally responsible and come here and strangle you. So everybody learned. And so I laid my vocal tracks in about 4 days, and I left. And then 6 months later, I get the tracks back with Paige Lewis, all the, and it was like, okay, all right, well, I'm so glad I made you do all this. Great, so that part was awesome. Also, I don't really have a lot of stories about it because it happened for me. You know what I mean? It was 3 days, and then I have this album. So, not the guy to ask, but kind of sound like an asshole when I say that.
No, it's actually believe it or not, that's kind of most people's experience first time really in a studio.
Right.
I've done some videos for artists down in Tyler at studio down there. It's exactly that. Usually by the time they come in to lay the vocal tracks down, the band or the studio band has already laid down everything. They're going in singing to more or less finished, not the mixed and
not the mix, but the finished product of the song.
Product of the song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, they're laying down tracks to that, and it's a whirlwind. You know what I mean?
It's awesome.
It's a lot of takes. It's not like you're singing the song all the way through. You're singing this part here, this part here, this part here. Go back, listen. It's a lot.
Give me growl a little bit more coming into that.
And sometimes I've seen it to where they'll start recording vocals and they'll stop.
Yep.
Hold on, we got to change the mic. That's not the right mic.
I hate everything.
Hold on. I got to change the preamp. I got to change.
You're standing weird. What? I don't know. I just don't like it.
You're too nasally. Take a drink. I've heard it all. But there's some really good studios out there that I've seen that. And I don't want to. I'm not going to name any specific. There are some studios out there that will let you go with whatever you lay down. They don't care. And there are some studios out there that are really good at coaching and building
to get the best out of you. God. And those are the studios that win awards. Yeah,
you can hear it in the tracks that they put out.
Just like with food,
if you like things like Leanne Rimes and Paul Coffin and some of the tracks that they've put out in the past recently, then you like the same kind of
right.
Wade Bowen, those guys that you like the same stuff I like.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff, and you can hear it when you put it next to something like that and something like this. Like, normally you wouldn't hear it, but when you do it that way, you can hear it.
Hey, this guy, yeah.
And
nobody cared about what they were doing.
The problem is, like I said, making a song is not cheap. The studio doesn't care about the end product.
But they're still charging you. Yeah. Boy, you can be mad. I'd be like a wet hen now.
Most artists, they're in the studio.
For sure.
They're surrounded by hundreds of thousands of dollars of guitars and pianos and
microphones and this big board and everything looks so
big golden nugget, right?
It's overwhelming, man. Yeah. And it's easy to be swayed by that. Like you say, it's easy to be, to be swayed by that. I'm very lucky, and I count myself that. But also, I'm old. Who's your
kind of like your go-to people around you right now that kind of build you up and kind of make sure you're on the
especially on my as far as my team goes, I've got a Fendi Music Group and Dave Birkland over there and Laramie Hargrove and Cody McDowell take care of me. Of course, Cynthia at G289. My drummer, Dakota Miller, who has been with me for 12 or 13 years now, different iterations of all kinds of stuff. Somebody that I bounce ideas off. He's my calm, quiet center. Dakota's about this big. He actually lives inside another person, like a nesting doll.
Yep. Picture that. Okay. I'm gonna let that. Like,
Dakota is my conscious. Musically, I look to somebody that I chase a lot, and he's not even in my scene really. It's my buddy Colton Sanders. He's in a band called Is He Dead? They're like a rock act. But him and his old lady Grace do such good social media. Colton is so good at so many things. He's a younger cat, and so he has a real eye and flair for design. On top of being just an out of this world songwriter, man. Colton was one of the first guys in Paris. He used to come to my open mics when I was hosting them there at Buffalo Joe's, and he would just blow me away with his content, man. And he's worked so hard to bring his performance up to where his content was already. And so to see him go from what he was to now having all these, I think his last music video on Spotify or on YouTube got 500,000 views. Got another album coming out, and now he's a prolific album releaser as well. Love the kid, man. Love him.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So is there? We're talking about kind of bucket venues. Is there any place that you've played so far in your career that you're like, man, that was really cool?
I got a quarterly slot at Hochtown Saloon in Hochtown, Oklahoma. That's one of the biggest ticketed venues up that way. I've also, in the past year, having a full band and I'm at Neon Moon in Yanis in April. That's a ticketed venue for our area. Like you mentioned earlier, living in Northeast and East Texas, it's kind of a music desert out there anyway. There's little clubs here and there, but you got to drive to every one. You know what I mean? So just breaking the markets that I'm playing at Shreveport twice a month now this year. So we're expanding, just like you said, and that's what it's been about.
Have you played? What is it called? Hurricane Hurricane
Alley? Yeah. I have not yet, but I am talking to them. The owner come and saw me at Mexico there. That's a sweet little gig there. But he was at mine and Dakota's last gig as a duo, and he come and talk to us, and we're trying to get in there right now. So that would be Shreveport goals. If I can get the full band in there, I probably won't play anywhere else in Shreveport. I kind of would like to have one acoustic show, one band show in each town regionally, and just work the circuit.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it would be cool.
Hey, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I've had so many podcasts in the last 2 weeks just because I'm trying something different with this whole format. I'm front loading a bunch of stuff because when people come on this podcast and they do these tiny office sessions, I give each artist a week all to themselves on my social media.
Right.
So the podcast
But
comes
to
out
do
on
that,
Monday,
you need to call. Yeah.
and there's videos that come out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then after that, the artist gets copies of the videos that they can chop up and do whatever they want.
And then they can push.
And they can push it. It's all about good promo, quality promo for arts.
Come in.
You know what I mean? That doesn't cost them anything. You know what I mean? And so tried something different. Like I was saying, I'm front loading a bunch of this stuff. So we've been filming like crazy.
Yeah. But I bet that'll help because I'm thinking about doing that in my own personal content too.
Yeah.
Kind of, let's film a bunch of crap and then we can farm it out.
Well, because we're getting ready to get into festival season.
Yep.
It's going to be really hard to get artists to come down. And so I'm trying to get enough content built up to where.
Well, and then you can dedicate just 1 week a month to filming, right?
Yeah,
and the rest of that month to getting the media out instead of trying to film while you're editing and
A lot of people don't realize Penny Gilly from the Penny Gilly Show.
Yeah.
She records all those in 2 days.
Really?
Yeah. Like overnight, she takes a nap. So it's like, boom.
Get it
8
done.
hours. They read out Saloon. It's done. It's like some of those they film at like 2 in the morning.
Amen.
3 in the morning.
But I mean,
And
then they have all that until, you don't have to worry about it again.
The year, and then boom, it goes out whenever it goes out. You know?
Amen.
So I've never done that before. I've always been like behind the curve on podcasts where I record them, and then I got like 3 days to edit it.
You got to get it out.
Get it out.
Right.
I forget something else.
So you're just pulling your beard.
It's not a great way to live. So I'm trying something different.
Amen.
So that's why I do this. But man, it's been a lot of fun talking with you.
It has been.
Where lost my train of thought. Where can people find all the information about your tour? Can they buy your merch online?
Yes.
Social media handles, all that stuff.
We have the easiest way is to go to the Linktree, which is just Linktree Chace Rains Music at Chace Rains Music. Pretty much all of my platforms are at Chace Rains Music. I'm the only Chace Rains in the world. If you spell it right, CHACE, rains like the weather. I'm the one. That's pretty easy to find. Some of my biggest shows coming up. We have a big weekend at the end of April. We'll be in it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Paris, Texarkana, and Hochtown with our sister band from Alabama. We're bringing them in as part of a development project, passion project I'm doing, building little routes and getting guys over here, Railroad Avenue, coming all from Alabama to play 3 big shows with us. Cool. Actually, John Smith, the songwriter in that band, is from Arlington. Oddly enough, we're in close to Arlington today filming this. Who's living in Alabama, be coming back to sing some songs. So, out, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Anything that I forgot that you want to add in? Anybody we can shout out to or anything like that?
Not that. Well, obviously, I am doing things with the guys at Hometown Hot Rodders. They're trying to get a little open mic series, actually.
Hometown Hot Rodders.
They are based out of Fate. It's me and Brian Thompson. We're trying to get we're going to try to do 8 of them spread out around the DFW area all the way over to Texarkana. And then one night a month, he's going to try to do a live broadcast for like a curated set of the open mic, right? We'll have the guys. They'll get 5 songs and an interview at live from location. Whether or not that, we'll see what happens. But that'd be cool. He's been working his butt off, so I feel like I should, I've been talking to him a lot. That's a good idea, I feel like. Nobody else is doing that in that space, so we'll see what happens with that.
So I think the Eastern Texas area is kind of...
It's a desert over there, man.
Wide open.
Yeah.
There's a couple other groups I know that are doing some stuff out there, but they're not doing a lot.
And there's a lot of musicians out there that have no platform.
There's a good opportunity to make money out there because it's the exact opposite problem we have here in Fort Worth. We're oversaturated with musicians, and we're oversaturated with bars. And so it's hard for a musician to make any money because you might want to do a set for $600, but the guy standing next to you to do it for $100.
That's right. Yeah. And the bar is still not, they're struggling to make the first dollar on anyway. Right.
Exactly.
So they need the value in the $100 guy.
Yep. And it's tough.
Yeah. Amen.
Because everybody wants quality artistry.
Right.
You know, they want good singers, good music, but they don't always want to.
But yeah, it's a
premium.
It's a capitalist market. They want the best price. That's right. They're going to meet their need at financial.
You got a lot of cutthroat business in the stockyards where bigger venues feel like business is being taken away from them, so they start weighing in on other medium-sized venues, and then you have the whole like no advertising clause where it's horrible.
I didn't even say I'm not even familiar with any of that, so I'm glad that I don't have to engage with that. That sounds horrible.
Well, if you're a big artist, right, and you're booked at a honky tonk that is quite large on March 1st, but you play a set at like 20 miles away, right? So you got 2 concerts 20 miles away. If they're within a week of each other, practically one of them can't really advertise.
Oh, that's kind of shitty.
Depending on what was booked first.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I see both sides of that, but wow.
So then it falls back on the artist. You can't advertise. You still gotta get people.
You still gotta somehow get paid for the show.
So,
like, what are we doing here?
It doesn't help anybody except for a small group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a very certain group. Right.
Yeah. And I'm not.
Amen.
Yeah. It's and every venue does that. It's not just one.
Yeah. I'm sure that's it.
That. But anyways, man, Chase, you're gonna stick around.
All right.
We're gonna do some songs. And it's been great.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Well, be sure to come back next week for the next OTMC podcast, and be sure to subscribe. Hit the little bell icon on YouTube. Click like and follow and all that good stuff on Instagram and Facebook for both Chace and for Official Texas Music Chart. I could really use the love on Instagram. I haven't figured out Instagram yet. Facebook, I'm doing a little bit better. I usually do pretty good on Facebook, but Facebook, I'm having trouble. They didn't like the algorithm didn't like that official is in my name.
Yeah. Okay. For whatever reason.
So on Facebook, I am OTMC-Official Texas Music Chart. On Instagram, that wasn't available. It was too long, so it's the Official Texas.
Okay, cool, yeah.
And I'm trying to get it all changed, but it's
even though that's one company doing the same thing in 2 apps.
Yeah,
You got to have 2 different names.
yeah.
I know it. I dislike.